as you just said, it was a very big task to be both the director and one of the main players of a four-person.
Yes, and that I think just takes even more prep, and I had the most incredible crew in the world, so we prepped it to death. We really prepped it to life, I hope, but Adam Newport-Berra, our cinematographer, and I watched so many films. We were obviously really inspired by Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I think Mike Nichols is one of my heroes, and you can probably really feel that the whole thing is like a tip of the hat to Mike Nichols. And I think probably Virginia Woolf, The Graduate, and The Birdcage, I think, are all kind of infused into this film. And then films like Bob Carroll, Ted and Alice. We also, I love Ruben Östlund, so in a much more modern era film, I think Force Majeure is a film that I love so much because it's this juxtaposition of a seemingly kind of low-stakes domestic situation with incredibly high-stakes emotional drama, and certainly the way he uses music, with putting Vivaldi in that film, you really feel that, and we were very inspired by that. Dev Hynes, who created the score that I'm so in love with, which is entirely on the cello, and that score was our attempt to create that kind of high emotional stakes. I think that, we had all these films that we loved. We really just wanted it to have a look and a feel that would allow you to be comfortable being in this kind of limited space. There's so many great single space movies. We watched like 12 Angry Men also, like really studying how can you use the camera to make the audience feel intrigued by staying in the same space. We shot flashbacks that aren't in the film, running down the streets of the Mission here, flashbacks at the makeout room, shout out to the makeout room. We love it. We had fun there, and a lot that's not in the movie, only because some really smart mentors of mine were like, stick the landing, dude. Like, you stayed in one space, don't bail on that, just stay there. And I'm so glad that they pushed me to that, because it's really tempting to be like, oh God, like, maybe they're bored, let's just cut to a flashback, and just to trust that the audience actually has more patience than we often give them credit for.
Well, thank you for talking about shooting in San Francisco, because obviously we are all very proud to see San Francisco. I think Seth took a very interesting route home from the East Bay. It's such a delight and a pleasure to see our city reflected on the big screen, and we love it. And also, yes, your use of a single space, all the blocking, the way that they're standing on other sides of the frames, the way that you don't see people in frames together. Mentioning Mike Nichols and obviously Ruben's work in particular, but also the way that you build up and then drop us in it. It's just like the pacing and the craft, the edit, it's all just beautiful.
Thank you. You really, with a production designer like Jade Healy, she has done many films, including Marriage Story, and she knows how to make a space feel like a character. And she built this set in a very short amount of time on a soundstage, and the joy of being able to build it on a soundstage was to control the architectural, the idea of frames within frames was something that we were able to control, and that we knew when we wanted the characters to be separated, and the use of the doorways and the hallways and the ceiling, what a joy to be able to control that, and to hopefully make it feel like a sort of subconscious storytelling device that people are just lulled into. The use of mirrors, that is really all Adam and Jade putting their heads together. Our costume designer, Ariane Phillips, who came up with the idea that my character should be wearing a shirt that is the exact same color as the walls. Because her identity is she's just like faded into this house. This kind of movie is only possible when everybody completely devotes themselves to it in a way that they're coming up with all these great ideas, and it's really the dream to be able to have something that everybody wants to kind of chew on together.
But it needs a leader and it needs a vision.
Oh.
We are almost out of time, and I'm going to try to sneak in 2 audience questions, and my team won't hit me too much. Questions, unfortunately, we do not have time for comments. You're right here in front. I'll repeat the question for everybody. So the question is about Olivia's character Angela, and specifically about how tightly wound and the amount of anxiety that she's able to emote and share, and what did you dig into to get to that performance?
I really dug into just my own raw, deep anxiety. I think that the experience of the character ended up really mirroring the experience of myself, because she's invited people over to this dinner party hoping it will work out, and I had invited this crew and this audience into this film really hoping it would work out. So there was a parallel there. I think that it was interesting. I've never had an easier time kind of slipping into character. I think it was because these scene partners were so lived in, they were so present, that I just kind of had to respond to them. I keep likening it to being like playing in like an NBA All-Star game, that it's like you somehow, I don't know, there's like some freak accident happens and you get pulled into the game and you're like, oh, what am I doing here? I'm playing with, you know, like Steph Curry and Kobe and LeBron, and they make it pretty easy to play because you just kind of like throw the ball and they can catch it no matter where it was. But I just got to be so, I just got to be so present in it. It's weird. It's the only time that experience of playing that character was weirdly, I don't know, it felt like a side of me that I usually probably keep secret. And it was a relief to feel this kind of catharsis of kind of confession. But boy, I mean, my muscles would be so sore at the end of the day because I had been like completely wound tight the whole time. But I had a lot of love for her.
I think we all do. Okay, one more question right there.
Why San Francisco?
Oh, I love this question. Why, especially because it was shot inside. It's a great question. Why set it in San Francisco?
Yes, so Rashida and Will had written San Francisco into their screenplay, and it was one of the first things that I really loved about the screenplay. I loved the specificity of that choice. My mom grew up here, I have a lot of family here, and I love San Francisco. And I felt, yes, it's the best. I felt like I knew exactly who they were based on that choice that the screenwriters made. I knew, okay, this is the type of people in this story. Somehow I just understood that they would probably live here. You know? Feels like Peanut and Hawk could live above any of you, right? But I think also there's such specificity to it, and it's really easy to make a movie that's just like, you know, any town, America, and you can say like, I don't know, just like, it's a city, and hope that that means everyone will find something in common with it. But I love the specific choice of San Francisco because it just gave it so much vibrancy, and it's such a vivid place, and the vast expansiveness of the beautiful hills and the landscapes. I mean, we were just blown away. The entire crew was like, we're buying real estate, we're moving here. This is the most beautiful place on the planet. Because it happened to be 2 days of like 0 clouds. It was so nice. And I have to say that the film crew here was spectacular. And it was such a joy to film here. And the people, I mean, we were barging into the BART train and into like Molinari's and into, you know, and people were just so happy to see something creative happening. So creatively it was the right choice for the film. And then as far as our experience, we couldn't have had a better time.